Joining us from Washington is Justin Thomas Russell, the Executive Director of Global Foreign Policy Center. A very warm welcome, sir, and it's a pleasure to be with us in our episode in Focus today, and for your time, sir. Justin, how is this scandal playing out in Washington diplomatic and political circles? And what's
Well,
the perspective, sir, of what's the perspective? Sorry for.
well, it's good to see you, Raina, as always.
It's my
The
pleasure,
reality,
sir.
they're still trying to figure out exactly which way is up. There's no question the sacking of Lord Mandelson is going to have a ripple effect in the diplomatic community. I'm sure they're still trying to figure out how this is going to play out down at Foggy Bottom at State Department headquarters. So there's a lot of questions still to be answered. The biggest question right now, I think, that's facing the embassy up on Massachusetts Avenue and how they're going to relate this back to the State Department and to the White House is how did, the closest relationship, the representative of the Crown, get through with this type of bad screening coming from the Cabinet Office, the Foreign Office, and Number 10. There's going to be a lot of questions. I think it's still very new. And quite frankly, out of all the things that the State Department is having to deal with right now, the sacking of Lord Mandelson is probably number 4 or number 5 on the list.
Sir, from a U.S. perspective, was Mandelson ever a wise choice, given his controversial past and the known association with Epstein? And why is this brought up now?
Look, I mean, as somebody who runs a foreign policy think tank, I can't get into the mindset or start looking at, was he the right choice, was he the wrong choice? That's a decision that's left up to Sir Keir Starmer as Prime Minister and his Cabinet Office. Would I have picked him? Probably not. I think anybody would have looked at that and said there's too many risks. One of the things that you look at when you hold a position of that type of sensitivity is, can this person be blackmailed? Can this person be compromised? Does his history or does his background show any sort of potential, violations of personal standards that might put him in a compromising way? So all these questions that should have been looked at, kind of would have set off a couple of red flags with Lord Mandelson. However, what I am going to say is I have not read any of the, and nor will I ever read any of the background investigation adjudications on the ambassador. I don't know what decisions were made where and by who. But I think that this will be a wake-up call for Keir Starmer's government that they're going to have to start looking at very closely, particularly with the fact that you also had the resignation of the deputy prime minister last week for an ethics violation on tax reporting. She self-reported, but there's been a combination of personnel issues that have kind of become a problem for Keir Starmer's government. And quite frankly, he doesn't need the hassle, and he's probably going to put pressure on his own people to clean up their act.
Sir, Trump has not commented directly, but do you expect him to leverage the scandal in any way during his visit? And Trump is an unexpectable president.
I don't think this is going to be a very big issue in any sort of bilateral meetings between Starmer and Trump.
Sorry, I meant an unpredictable president.
Oh, no. Again, Trump's got bigger issues that he's going to have to deal with the Brits on, other than who is representing the Crown in Washington. There's always uncertainty when you see a bilateral meeting with President Trump. That's part of the fireworks that usually comes with a Trump state visit anywhere. But as far as the issues that are going to be plaguing both Donald Trump and Sir Keir Starmer, between tariffs, between NATO supporting Ukraine.
Do you think he's going to bargain on it, sir?
I'm sorry, what was the question again, Rena?
He's going to bargain about it? Donald Trump?
No, again, Rena, when we look at this, look, the sacking of Lord Mandelson is a black eye on the Starmer administration, no question. Lord Starmer never should have been, particularly with the fact that there are those who knew about this. But again, one of the things that the State Department and the protocol offices inside the White House and State Department are going to urge is that we stay out of, just as we would not expect the British government or the Crown to start commenting and start bringing up issues that are internal personnel issues inside the administration here at the White House. So again, it's a delicate balance. There's going to be the protocol and foreign relations type dance that we will usually do when Trump goes to see the Brits. However, I don't think this is going to be something that's going to be a top tier issue for Donald Trump. Again, tariffs, everything else, this is not going to be the one.
The Telegraph raised concerns about Epstein advising on financial deals involving taxpayer assets. Could this scandal widen into economic or legal inquiries, sir?
Well, I mean, look, the Epstein case seems to be taking over and taking down several aspects of British government. The Epstein, the Epstein scandal has taken down a royal. It took down Prince Andrew and removed him from royal duties. And now it's taken down Lord Mandelson as the official representative by the Crown to Washington. So, the better question on this one, Raina, is how deep and how far is this going to continue to
infiltrate? And why now, sir?
Oh, why now? Oh, because it's easy, Raina. Why now is because the Jeffrey Epstein case has become this boomerang effect on both Republicans and Democrats. When the Jeffrey Epstein case first came up, if you recall, everybody said Jeffrey Epstein didn't commit suicide. He was murdered by everybody from the Clintons to the CIA at Obama's behest. And now what's happening is they're seeing the reverse. The MAGA QAnon crowd used the Epstein case as their battle cry of deep state cover-ups. And now what's happening is the reverse of it. And now what's happened is it is exploded. It is a pin that was pulled out of a hand grenade.
What you're saying, sir, or what you're discussing is what took place in the United States, where he used to be there with the people of the United States or with the politicians of the United States or with his pal friends, like they mentioned. But now it's a backlash towards the United Kingdom at this point, and an ambassador, which used to be in America and is sacked.
Yeah. I mean,
and at the same time, when U.S. President Donald Trump is on supposed to be going to a visit to the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
So it's kind of there's something I don't know. You have to tell me. Is this something like there's something fishy about it, or it's normal happening, and like you said, it's just exploding? And why is it exploding in the face of the United Kingdom?
Right. The thing about it is politics is timing. And, is there something fishy? No, I'm not going to get into the conspiracy theories. I'm not going to discuss any of the deep state questions that are going to be brought up throughout this. I mean, look, even folks on the far right are going to be saying that this was a cover-up that was exposed, and the far left is going to say that this was only brought up because the far right in Britain wanted to take down the Starmer government. The reality is that was the timing on this was the timing on this intentional? I doubt it. I think it has gotten so much attention, and then you also have to realize that the FBI and Congress and the Department of Justice have released a lot of documents. So the journalists in the world are going to be looking through the Epstein case files, and they're going to see something. If they see something in there that brings up whether it is a picture with Donald Trump's signature questionably on it, or whether it is a series of emails from Lord Mandelson, who is now the ambassador from London to Washington, saying that, hey, Jeffrey Epstein is my best friend in the world, yeah, that's going to get out. I think the timing on the release was not, I think that number 10 Downing Street did not expect the fallout that they are getting right now from this. And I think it caught them off guard. I think what the better question is going to be is, how did the Starmer government put themselves in this position in the first place?
How should the United Kingdom government proceed now to rebuild credibility in Washington? And what are the diplomatic protocols and damage control, sir?
I don't think there's a lot of damage control that needs to be done between the British government and Washington. I think that this is largely going to be viewed here in Washington as a bad decision made, a bad personnel decision made by number 10 Downing Street. I think that this is going to be largely looked at as, I mean, look, let's also be honest, is, Lord Mandelson has only been the ambassador for a short time.
So it wasn't like 8 months or 7 months. I'm not around 7 to 8 months. I think 8 months.
It's less than a year, basically. I mean, it basically when Keir Starmer was installed as prime minister by the king, he basically placed Lord Mandelson as his ambassador, his representative. That being the case, in 7 months, there's not a lot. There's been so much happening in the world that I don't think that he had enough time to really have to create that. Let me say this: he didn't have enough time in Washington that he established enough of a presence that the Foreign Office would have to do a massive amount of cleanup as a result of this.
Mr. Johnston, I have to wrap up. And before I wrap up, because the first guest in our first segment said that Keir Starmer does not know how to put the right people in the right place. Beyond this incident, do you believe the United Kingdom faces a wider crisis of elite accountability when it comes to how top diplomats are chosen and vetted?
No. I think your previous guest was overestimating and over-exaggerating this. Were there personnel decisions that were made? Sure. I mean, we see that here in the United States. I mean, just look at Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the Secretary of Health and Human Services. He got decimated in the Senate the other day, and they're calling for his head. Is that going to tear down the Trump government? Probably not. No, I don't think it's as big of an issue as he made it out to be. Is it a challenge for the Starmer government? Is it a challenge for number 10 Downing Street? Absolutely. They're going to have to fix this, but it's theirs to fix, not everybody else's.
Justin Thomas Russell, I can't thank you enough for your time and informative, valuable knowledge and insights.